Hello everyone, coming back to my channel Emerging School of Economics. So students, I am going to teach you about theory of production and tell you about what is law of variable proportion and definition of this law and meaning of production. And also discuss about classical production function, TP, total product, MP, marginal product and AP, average product. So let's begin. When we start with evolution of production function, the major contribution regarding production function has been made by Professor Higgs, who presented new classical production function in 1939. The classical economic resources include land, labor and capital. Internship is also considered an economic resources because individuals are responsible for creating business and moving economic resources in the business environment. These economic resources are also called factor of production. Production function is defined as transformation of physical input into physical output where output is a function of input. It can be expressed as where Q is the quantity of output produced during a particular period. K and L are factor of production. F is a function of which depend on. Production function is concerned with short run and this production function state that production depend upon units of labor only while capital is kept constant. Classical are of the view that keeping the other factor constant, if we go on implying the units of labor, the total production will increase at different rate. In other words, the rate of change total product, which is called marginal product, may increase, may remain constant and may decrease. Traditionally speaking, by implying more labor, if marginal product increases, such will demonstrate the operation of law of increasing return. If MP remain constant, such deficit the situation of law of constant return, and if MP falls, such situation means the law of decreasing return. All this denote that classical production function describe the three laws of production, but nowadays these three laws of returns are represented with one law, the law of variable proportion. Before presenting this law, we explain certain concepts presenting this law. When we discuss about total product by having employ a certain number of employee, labor whatsoever is produced by a firm represent total output of the firm. For example, if firm produces 50 motorcycles by employing 10 labor, such will represent total output or total product of the firm. If we divide total product by unit of labor, we get AP, average product. According to law of variable proportion, by keeping the capital fixed, if we go on to apply the units of labor, the following phenomena is observed. In the beginning, TP will increase at an increasing rate. Hence, both AP and MP increases, but MP will increase more than AP. Later on, TP will increase at a constant rate. Hence, both AP and MP will remain constant. Finally, the TP will increase at a decreasing rate. Hence, both AP and MP decreases, but MP will decrease more than AP. Afterward, by applying more units of labor, TP will reach its maximum level. Consequently, MP will become zero. Still, applying more units of labor mean the falling of TP itself and making the MP negative. Such all is explained with the help of following diagram and table. With the help of above schedule, we have constructed a figure which has two parts. In the upper part, we have total product shown by production function depend upon the labor. The total output is increasing at different rates. In the lower part of the diagram, we have AP and MP curves. In the beginning from first labor to third labor, TP is increasing at an increasing rate. Hence, both AP and MP increases, but MP increases more than AP. This situation corresponds to law of increasing return. The point C represents point of inflection because here the slope of TP curve changes. When the firm employs fourth labor, AP has reached its maximum and both MP and AP are equal here. The production stage which starts with origin and lasts till AP is maximized is known as production stage 1. By employing fifth and sixth labor, the TP of the firm increases at an increasing rate. As a result, both AP and MP fall, but MP fall more than AP. This situation represents the operation of law of diminishing return. When the firm employ the seventh labor, there is no change in TP. Consequently, MP is zero. The production state which start with AP become maximized. MP is equal to AP, and the last for the MP being equal to 0 is known as production stage 2. There is an important property of this stage that here both AP and MP fall, but they are positive. By applying 8th and 9th labor, the TP of the firm itself fall. Here MP become negative while AP is still falling. This situation represents the operation of law of negative return. The production state will start with MP being equal to 0 to MP become equal to negative is said to be production stage 3. The importance of the production stage is that the purpose of each rational producer is to maximize its output or minimize its cost of production. Therefore, the firm which is to produce with the help of labor will not employ those units of labor having negative MP. Accordingly, stage 3 will not be an uneconomical stage for the producer. Therefore, the producer will not employ any unit of labor corresponding to stage 3. Again, the stage 1 is not also an uneconomical efficient stage. Although here both MP and AP are rising, yet this stage indicates that the fixed labor capital is enough big and has not been fully utilized. Accordingly, the MP of labor is increasingly. If the employment of the labor is stopped here, it would mean that the losing of the gain, which could be rewrapped through the rising of MP. All this concluded that it is stage 2, which is accordingly as most beneficial from the economical point of view. Although here both MP and MP are decreasing, yet they are positive. In this stage, how many unit of labor the firm will employ that is concerned with the behavior of the firm, which will be explained in the presence of firm budget and prices of factor of production. This law is based on the following observation: homogeneous unit. All the variable factors are homogeneous. There is no difference in the quality of various unit employed. Number 2, one variable factor. It has been assumed that only one factor of production, may be labor, will be variable while the other will remain constant. It also has been assumed that law is only operative in the short run. In the long run, all inputs are variable. So students, you learn more from this lesson. Keep watching my channel. Till then, bye.